Most gardeners make the same critical mistake every season. They dump organic waste on the soil, water it, and just expect magic to happen. The truth is, without proper management, that material either compacts, rots anaerobically, or leaches valuable nutrients. You're left with weaker plants, poor soil structure, and, honestly, wasted effort. If you care about serious results, you need a method that actively builds nutrient density, supports microbial life, and improves water retention. That's where the grey mix comes in, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it in your garden, raised beds, and even hydroponic setups. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because the tips here aren't the generic fluff you see on most gardening videos. They're practical, tested, and designed to make your garden perform better. The grey mix isn't some gimmick. It's a combination of shredded cardboard, wood ash, and rich vermicompost. Each component plays a unique role. The cardboard provides carbon and structure, preventing compaction and encouraging airflow. Wood ash balances pH and delivers potassium and trace minerals. Vermicompost, or worm castings, adds nitrogen, phosphorus, and a living microbial community that actively breaks down organic matter. Together, they create a soil environment that's fertile, loose, and incredibly resilient. When I first tried this in my backyard beds, I noticed the difference within weeks. Seedlings established faster, roots grew deeper, and I could actually see water infiltrating the soil rather than pooling on top. For anyone who struggles with clay-heavy soil or slow-draining raised beds, this mix changes everything, and the best part is it's easy to manage on a small scale or scale up for larger operations. If you want to make vermicomposting even simpler, I've been using the FCMP Outdoor Essential Living Composter, a 2-tray worm bin that fits perfectly in apartments, basements, or covered outdoor spaces. The link is in the description under Influencers and Associates. This system keeps your worms happy, produces excellent worm tea, and makes harvesting castings straightforward. I'll explain how I integrate it in just a moment. Start by preparing the cardboard. For a small raised bed, shred enough cardboard to cover the bottom layer in a 1 to 2 inch thick mat. If your bed is about 4 feet by 4 feet, that's roughly 3 to 4 large cardboard boxes worth. Try to avoid glossy or heavily printed cardboard. Plain brown boxes are perfect. Pre-soak the cardboard in water until it's damp but not soggy. This prevents it from drawing moisture away from your plants later on. For larger garden plots, aim for a ratio of roughly 3 parts cardboard to 1 part ash and 1 part vermicompost by volume. Next, incorporate wood ash. Many gardeners over-apply or under-apply ash, and both extremes harm the soil. In my experience, a ½ cup per square foot spread is optimal. It's enough to provide potassium and trace minerals without excessively raising pH, especially if your soil is naturally acidic. Spread it evenly over the cardboard layer and lightly mix with a hand rake or trowel. Just be sure to avoid getting ash directly on seedling stems. It's caustic when concentrated. Now the final component, worm castings. This is where the living soil comes in. I harvest from my FCMP Outdoor 2-tray vermicomposter about every 2 weeks. Each tray produces enough castings for 1 small raised bed. Spread a 1 to 2 inch layer on top of the cardboard and ash. This not only introduces a nutrient-dense top layer, but also brings in beneficial microbes that accelerate decomposition and improve soil structure. The worms themselves don't need to be in the bed. Most of the microbial benefits come from their castings. If you're using hydroponics, you can mix the castings into a soilless medium or steep them in water to create a nutrient-rich tea. In raised beds, layer this mix directly before planting. For existing beds, work it gently into the top 3 to 4 inches without disturbing established roots. I've tried deep incorporation, and while it works, it can shock some perennials. Shallow integration plus top dressing ensures nutrients reach the root zone gradually. One key point: water well after layering, but don't saturate. You want the soil to be moist enough to activate microbes, but not so wet that cardboard becomes anaerobic. For hydroponic systems, I convert castings into liquid fertilizer. Take 1 part worm castings or worm tea and mix with 1 part water to create a concentrated nutrient solution. This can be added to the reservoir or fed directly to roots. If you use cardboard as part of a grow medium, make sure it's been fully broken down in vermicompost first. Fresh cardboard can tie up nitrogen and slow growth. I've experimented with partial decomposition, and plants react much faster to fully conditioned material. It's important to understand the trade-offs. This grey mix accelerates microbial activity, but it also changes the soil's moisture dynamics. Heavy rainfall or overwatering can leach nutrients if the mix isn't covered or mulched. For backyard beds, I apply a thin straw or grass clipping mulch over the top. This helps regulate moisture, reduces surface evaporation, and encourages worms and microbes to remain active near the soil surface. I've seen mulch-free beds dry out in days during sunny spells. Another tip: rotation matters. Don't keep the same grey mix in the same spot year after year. Even with vermicompost, minerals will gradually deplete and microbial communities can become unbalanced. Rotate crops, refresh layers, and maintain a small composting system alongside your garden. I personally have 2 FCMP Outdoor 2-tray vermicomposters running at offset schedules. This ensures I always have fresh castings and worm tea ready for new plantings. The compact design is just perfect for indoor use in winter or on covered patios. People often ask if this method works for all soil types. It does, but the approach varies. Sandy soils benefit most from cardboard layers to retain moisture and prevent nutrient leaching. Clay soils need the organic matter to loosen structure and increase drainage. For raised beds, I combine sandy subsoil with the grey mix on top, which results in a friable, well-draining medium that still holds enough moisture for tomatoes, peppers, and leafy greens. Hydroponic systems skip the structure benefit but gain a huge nutrient boost from the worm tea and decomposed castings. Consistency is key. Don't apply once and expect permanent results. Top-dress new cardboard and castings each season. Refresh ash in small doses every few months to maintain mineral balance. Monitor soil pH periodically, especially if you're using ash frequently. I've found that pH between 6.2 and 6.8 gives the fastest growth for most vegetables, and the grey mix stabilizes pH better than raw compost alone. Finally, the impact on plant health is tangible. In my gardens, seedlings establish faster, fruiting starts earlier, and disease pressure is lower. I attribute this to the balanced microbial population and consistent nutrient supply. Leafy greens, root vegetables, and even strawberries respond dramatically when this mix is applied correctly. Hydroponic leafy greens grow noticeably faster with worm tea supplementation derived from the grey mix. If you want to try this yourself, I highly recommend starting with a small raised bed or container using 1 to 2 inches of shredded cardboard, a measured sprinkle of wood ash, and 1 to 2 inches of worm castings. Keep your FCMP Outdoor 2-tray vermicomposter active nearby, collecting worm tea for liquid feeding. The link to the product is in the description under Influencers and Associates, and honestly, it's one of the easiest ways to consistently supply high-quality castings without hassle. Once you see how effective the grey mix is on a small scale, you can scale it up to larger beds or multiple hydroponic systems. To wrap up, this isn't just another composting trick. It's a method that combines structure, minerals, and living nutrients into a single, repeatable system that serious gardeners can rely on. The grey mix improves soil texture, nutrient availability, microbial health, and overall plant performance. Follow the steps I've outlined, pay attention to ratios, monitor moisture, and rotate regularly. You'll quickly notice stronger roots, healthier leaves, and more productive harvests. If you found this video valuable, hit the subscribe button for more advanced, practical gardening strategies that go beyond the basics. Share this video with fellow gardeners who want real results in their gardens, raised beds, and hydroponic setups. The Grey Mix isn't just an experiment, it's a game changer for anyone serious about growing better food, and your garden deserves this level of care.